Hello, my name is Abe. Welcome back to Enter the Gungeon. Let's do one more Paradox run with random stats enabled just to see what happens. And then we'll go from there. Play some more games, even play some more frickin' Gungeon. And someone suggested that maybe we should do a, oh my god, frickin' blasphemy sword. Although we have Polaris. Someone suggested that maybe we should do a, another kind of like DD20 mode run or something like that, and that could be kind of interesting to do. So we're playing Paradox with random stats. We have 3 HP. We have a Polaris. Seems like it has a really slow rate of fire, but maybe that's intentional. I don't know what our damage is. Because we don't have like a normal starting weapon, so I'm not calibrated for it. Though admit it, I mean, you know, it's taking like 4 shots to kill bulletkins. But this is Polaris level 1. How is Polaris level 1 gonna treat us? I don't freaking know. We also have the ammo belt starting as Paradox. You know, I'm tempted. I'm tempted to make a change with the Paradox character. I'm tempted to make it so that you're less likely to get high quality starting items, because half the time when I play as Paradox, it's like, here, have Polaris, here, have HP upgrades, here, have damage upgrades. You know, it feels like, dude, the knockback multiplier on this Paradox run is insane. But it feels like you get good items too often. You know, I want the good items to be a little bit more rare. I don't want to start with a C-tier gun every time. You know, last run we started with a B-tier gun. It was the Colt 1851, but that's still a good gun, you know? It's still a decent quality weapon. Dude, the knockback is actually insane. How about Turbo DD20 without Bless and Curse? But that's where a lot of the fun comes in. I actually kind of like, I'm not the biggest fan of the DD20 mode, even though I play it a lot, because the DD20 mode, while fun, is also really annoying. Having the random modifiers every room, and it's like, well, I can't use my gun for this boss fight. All right, well. You know, sometimes I just want to play the game and use my real gun. I must have lower damage. It feels like I have lower damage, but hard to tell. I definitely have a smaller projectile, and I believe I have a faster projectile speed. It's hard to tell. That's a problem, it's hard to tell when it's not like literally doubled. Hey, by the way, let me configure him. You know, if something is doubled, usually it's pretty easy to tell what your stat change is. Like, I can tell that we have an insane knockback multiplier on this run, because we are pushing enemies back so unbelievably fast. By the way, rainbow enemy. Let's keep going. For you, it's usually, here's nail gun and angry bullets. I don't know, a lot of the runs I've had have been really good as Paradox. It's like, here's extremely high quality items, have fun. And you know, of course, you have pictures of people starting with Gunther and Riddle of Lead, or Clone and Gunther. It all just revolves around Gunther, apparently. Oh no, disposable count is sick. Hopefully you're not sick forever. We actually have a higher shot speed now that I look at this gun. So we have higher shot speed and a higher knockback multiplier on this run. Okay, I can see that. I can believe that. Dude, I'm just gonna open the chests. You know, a lot of times when I'm doing these runs, I want to start on the oubliette pathway just so I can get more items. I don't think that's necessary on this run. I'm just gonna be completely honest with you. Give me the Polaris. I pronounce Gunther like the Ice King. Gunther! Gunther! Actually, it should be like Gunter, shouldn't it? I think it should be Gunter. Gunter. Look, someone go ask the entity that is trapped within the gun known as Gunther. Gunther. And ask him how his name is pronounced, and then I'll pronounce it differently. This is a good run. I mean, there's not much else to say other than that. Like, it's a good run. We've got some really good items. I mean, Polaris plus an ammo upgrade is, like, pretty much all you need. Most of the time, anyways. Does look like we have a bit of a damage downgrade, though, but we got Polaris. Who cares if we have damage down, rate of fire down? I want to be able to start with the frickin' Clob on a run like this. You know what? Frickin' speed run. Give me that speed run of Gungeon today. Ugh. Trying to be careful. We're actually not doing as much damage against bosses as I would like with the Polaris. I mean, they did nerf the rate of fire of the gun at some point. I think it was in AG&D, so it is a bit on the slow side to pump out the damage. How'd you guys feel if Gunther downgraded if you use other guns too much? I always found it kind of weird that the item description said jealous weapon when it doesn't seem to do anything if you actually use other guns. I thought that there was gonna be like a cool mechanic where you would switch to the gun and it's like, where have you been? You've been cheating on me with other guns? But none of that happens. I feel a little bit like let down, honestly, by Gungeon. I got the knockback. I think it would be kind of cool if Gunther downgraded if you used another gun. Someone told me that there is a gun in the game that does that. Maybe a Volver gun? Does a Volver gun get worse if you use other guns? I don't think so. I've never seen it devolve before, but I've only used it like once or twice. Be a pretty fast run, I think. Especially if I actually do try to like speed run a little bit here. I don't even have to kill all the enemies, they just frickin' fall into a hole and die. How did that barrel not get destroyed? The Killithids can spawn a ton of copies if you use third-party controller on them. That's what I've heard. And Misfire Beasts also. Apparently the Misfire Beasts will be able to fire an absolute butt-ton, or they'll spawn an absolute butt-ton of additional Misfire Beasts if you use your third-party controller on them. Which I think is kind of amusing that the game lets them spawn multiple copies. Come on, where's the boss fight? Might as well finish exploring this path because, you know, we're here. Oh, and there's a Matman. You know what, there's a reason to do this floor then. We can go to Matman, make sure we get an item from him when we're done. Yo, what is this? Yo, flak bullets. Sorry, Abe, I think you mean blue dogs. All right, big blue dogs. Yeah, I forgot about them. I don't want a gun. Man, a rate of fire is actually really poor right now. Which is just kind of amplifying the fact that Polaris has a pretty low rate of fire to begin with. I'm gonna do all the rooms. We have a map man. But yeah, like I kind of on a run with random stats, I would kind of want the random stats to be the primary feature of the run, but playing as Paradox, too often I get a run like this where it's like the primary focus of the run is not on the stats, it's on the guns, it's on the items that you start with. We have a lot of ammo, and we started with the Polaris, so we're doing a ton of damage. We're having an easy time of the game, and then we have extra ammo, so we can just keep using Polaris, you know? Like, that's the theme of the run, not we have a low rate of fire, because that just happens normally when you have the Polaris. So I kind of do wish that maybe the Paradox character didn't always start with such a great starting gun all the time, which is what it feels like it happens with me. Or maybe not just like a great starting gun, but maybe even any starting gun. Maybe Paradox shouldn't even have starting random equipment. They only have random stats to start with, and that's how the Paradox becomes an interesting character to play as. I don't know. I think it would be a much more difficult experience if you did not start with items and you only had random stats. Because then you would have the Eden. You would have the Eden characteristic of starting with, you know, low HP and low damage and low rate of fire, etc., etc. By the way, we have an alternate Polaris now. So if the run didn't need to be any stronger, well, here you go. Oh, there's Mega Hand, by the way, and Leaf Shield. Which apparently if you hit an enemy with it, it actually does turn into a shield, someone told me. It's gonna take the flak bullets. It's a damage upgrade, essentially. Don't have a key. I'm just gonna go, I guess. We're 12 minutes into this run on the 4th floor. Good lord. I don't know if this is a bad, but I think the bullet is bad. He's trash. The bullet's starting weapon, you know, we've gone through this before. It's either fantastic if you don't get hit, or it sucks if you get hit and then you can't use it anymore. It could be good, or it could be bad. By the way, so basically now the fact that we have a lower starting rate of fire doesn't matter, because the synergy with Bracket Key makes Polaris insane, because it has a doubled rate of fire essentially. So, you know, it's a great run. And flak bullets is just doing absurd damage. And we have 600 shots. We actually have more ammo capacity now that we picked up the synergy for the gun too. So if we find an ammo drop, basically this is gonna be the Polaris run. Our starting gun is the gun that we're gonna use for the entire game, apparently. I will say they did fix weapon level 3 appearing infinitely, which I guess is good. It was a fun bug though. Oh, I spoke too soon. Speak of the devil. This guy should not last very long. No, he did not last very long at all, did he? Okay, well, I'm just gonna keep moving on. Oh, hey, oh, there's a pea shooter. Pea cannon. I keep forgetting that that synergizes with mahogany. Where's my metronome game? Give me metronome, please. That's like the only thing that could make this run even stronger than it is right now, and it wouldn't even make it that much stronger because we're at the DPS cap on bosses right now. There's full ammo. This run is stupid. I have anything that creates creep? No. Alright, well, you know what? Sure. Thanks for the shotgun, dork! Yeah, I know I called the chest a dork. So what? Yeah, it's an old Polaris bug. Polaris? Where when you get enough kills with it without taking damage, it just infinitely says W3. It's an oldie but a goodie. Ah, a little bit of lag there. That's scary. So scary. Let's keep exploring. We need to find the shop, buy a key, see what our next chest holds, keep killing things. But yeah, I'm curious what you guys think about paradox and random characters and random stats and random items. You know, do you think there should be a change? Because I kind of do. Oh, stupid frickin' mimic. I am tempted also to maybe like try and, I was gonna take the ammo. I'd like to try and maybe like create a shrine at the beginning of the game that allows you to maybe select an alternate run with paradox, and the alternate run would be instead of random guns, you have random stats or something, and that way, you know, you start a run and you can choose what you want to do on your run at the beginning. And it would just be kind of like built into the game a little bit, but I don't know how to actually handle shrines yet. I'll have to learn! By the way, there's another good gun. Should probably, you know what, we need to keep going to find the frickin' shop. How did we get so many keys so quickly? Is that just because of the boss fight, or did we just pick up keys randomly? I don't frickin' know. Hey, you. Get me out of here. I'm done. I'm done with the floor. You don't like lower stats, it just makes killing enemies tedious. Yeah, but if you don't have lower stats, then what? You just randomly increase your stats? You're just cheating at that point, right? Like, yeah, the horrible train wreck Eden runs that you have in Isaac, yeah, sometimes you can have lower damage, lower rate of fire, you can't kill anything, you have low speed, so you can't even run away from enemies, but isn't that kind of like half the fun of it? To see if you can actually make a run work with low stats or bad stats? Like, if we're randoming stats, there has to be a way to make the stats go up and down. Or maybe you just don't want to have the stats go too high up or too high down, you know? Like, I don't want the damage to be able to go down 90%. Yeah, like, having to take literally 30 shots to kill a standard bulletkin seems a little bit excessive, but you know, what about plus or minus 50%? Oh, I got hit finally, you son of a gun. I got hit again. Oh, this stupid room. Had to have been from a frickin' phase spider. I don't even need to dodge them. I got hit by enemies that I don't have to dodge. I'm so ashamed. You know what? Ooh, almost got hit by that guy. I want to get back to at least weapon level 2 here as soon as possible. Oh, it's so bad now. Oh no. You know what? We can't use this forever. The rate of fire is just so bad with this random paradox stats. Oh my god. Alright, you know what? Switching tactics. Mega hand it is. Oh. Oh! Okay, a bulletkin was pushed up against the wall into me, and then I hit him. Because of the flak shot. The flak shot was doing so much more knockback thanks to us having this random stats on this character that's what caused that. Okay, you know what? Maybe we are finally getting into some interesting things with the random stats on this Paradox run. Start with a random starting gun that has random stats. Ammo capacity, shot speed, damage. Maybe. Let's fight the boss, why not? Use Leaf Shield. That's true. That's true. No? You have to charge it? Someone said that Leaf Shield would create a shield around you. That is an obvious lie. Okay, ignore that. I'm not seeing any Leaf Shield around me. Gives you a shield every time you kill an enemy. Well, I mean, that would be good if I had enemies on the screen right now that I could kill that wasn't just the Dragon. You know what? Use P-Cannon. I should try doing a run with only the starting pistol. I tried that once before, and we got very far in our run, but it was just so tedious because you only had your starting pistol. It took a million years to kill anything. Random starting stats on a gun. I mean, I guess... like, I'm thinking about it, and it's an interesting idea, but, like, what happens if... like, what happens in your run? Well, eventually you're gonna not use your starting gun anymore. You're gonna use another gun. Unless the starting gun is really OP, but if your starting gun is really OP, then it makes the early game way too easy, you know? At least random starting stats, because they're all multiplicative of one another, they benefit or hinder you for the entire run. What's my reaction to Jam Trigger Twins starting weapon only? I mean, I think we've done that before, unfortunately. You know, a random starting stats on a starting weapon, it's gonna help define your run for a little while. And then you're gonna switch guns because you're using the commando against the boss, not your crappy starting gun, and, you know, it's gonna lose its effect on the run. So, I really do think random stats is the way to go. On Leaf Shield. There we go, we got 2 Leaf Shields. See, we actually do get leaves by killing the enemies. Okay, I see it. And I guess these will probably break bullets. We can stack up a few leaves, not too many it looks like, because, you know, we're just gonna be breaking them on enemy bullets, but at least it's something, and it is a benefit over the standard Mega Hand. It is just like a pure benefit. We must have like a pretty nasty damage downgrade, it feels like. Against enemies like this, though, we're not gonna get those leaves to stick around for too long, are we? Uh-oh. That was highly dumb. That was very, very dumb. You know what? I saw you. I know how you operate, friend. Munchies. Thank you for the follow. Sometimes you die in one hit, sometimes you don't. I feel like normally they would die in one hit. With the Mega Hand, that is. Yo, I want to test! Ah. Anyways, what are we talking about? I feel like I've just got, like, things rolling around the old noggin, and I'm trying to... Oh, there we go. I'm trying to think about ways of doing, you know, different types of starting things with Paradox. But yeah, I think Paradox, kind of like the Gunslinger, and kind of like Rainbow Mode. Well, maybe not like Rainbow Mode, because Rainbow Mode can be really tough, especially in the early game, but usually in the later, it gets to be a little bit easier. You fired a laser at me, you son of a gun. But, there we go. Yeah, I think maybe Paradox shouldn't start with such high-quality starting equipment. But you know what? It's a mod. I can do whatever the hell I want. If I want to change the balance of Paradox, I can freaking do it. Gunslinger, you know, Gunslinger, he's OP on purpose, you know? Like, there's a method to his madness that he gets every single synergy, and that is, he's supposed to be a strong character. That's his shtick. You know? Dude, there's a problem with this Mega Hand. Hold up. It's not the leaf form. It's gotta just be our damage multiplier is low on this run. With Polaris, we just weren't really noticing it because it's, you know, Polaris on the first freaking floor. Why are you guys... Oh my god. I forgot that they changed the attack patterns of these guys. Did they change them back in Farewell to Arms? I don't think so. Having a hard time actually anticipating what they're gonna do though, for some reason. Bullet sucks. Yeah, I don't like playing as the Bullet most of the time. That's a bad use of bracket key. No, no, you're taking my leaves, you son of a gun. That iframe did not last as long as I thought it would. Did iframes from table flips not last as long in turbo mode, maybe? I don't see why that would be the case. I'm sorry, Mud, I did not see your comment when you said that the Polaris damage was low. I saw someone comment that it was taking X number of shots to kill the enemies, but I didn't really know how to interpret that. Get out of here. Yeah, you know, I'm interested in, as I said, everyone's opinions on the matter. On Paradox. Again, Gunslinger I think kind of is OP on purpose, but Paradox... I think I'd just prefer it if she had random equipment. Or sorry, not random equipment, random stats instead of random equipment. I think that'd make it a little bit more interesting at the very least. Hey, people can love whatever characters they want. If you love the Bullet, you know, you're wrong, but you can still love the Bullet. Gunslinger is OP, but it's helping you to consistently fight the rat and practice Punch-Out. That's true. You know, if you have an OP character, you can more easily get to the later stages of the game. This is a 29-minute long Gungeon run, by the way. It took 10 minutes to do bullet hell because, you know, it's a long floor. It's a 29-minute long run. Seems like a pretty good run. Hey, get bracketed. I should switch to the Polaris right now and try to use that. Ugh. Small Child 100, welcome. Ah! I hate that this guy started with his most annoying attack. You're on a 11 Lich streak, 5 Pilot, Paradox, and 6 Gunslinger. That doesn't count. Winning the game as a Gunslinger doesn't count. Hey, get out of here. About the Paradox, the issue is randomizing the characters. If you end up getting the Pilot's pistol plus smaller clip or less range depending on the starting weapon, this character might be unplayable. No, it's not a matter of it being unplayable, it's a matter of it being a challenge. It's all about it being a challenge. That's what I want. Anyways, good run. That was like a 29-minute long run. And even though it felt like we had pretty poor stats as Paradox, random Paradox, we had the Polaris and the ammo belt, so it kind of didn't end up mattering at all. And that's kind of what it's kind of what I'm struggling to try to find a good balance of, is how do you balance randomizing the stats of a character that usually starts really strong, or not, depending on the random quality of the items that you get to start with. And I think the solution is to just not have her start with characters, not have the Paradox start with items. Only start with random stats. But I don't know, I'm still thinking about it. You know, that's why I wanted to do a couple of runs as a random statted Paradox character to see. And in fact, what we can do is, again, check to actually see what the stats was for this run. So we had a rate of fire of 0.58, basically cut in half. We had accuracy of 0.61, which is an increase. Coolness of plus 1.2, damage down 0.84, projectile speed up 1.45, ammo capacity up 1.29, reload speed down 0.64, but it didn't really matter with the Polaris for, 9/10 of the run. Knockback multiplier 3.9. That explains why flak bullets was making the enemies bounce around like they were frickin' piñatas. Global price multiplier 1.06. Bullet player scale 0.82, basically the same. An additional clip capacity multiplier of 1.65, so a little bit more ammo in your guns. And there we go. So that was our Paradox run. For those of you on YouTube, hey, thank you very much for watching. Like the video if you enjoyed it. Subscribe for more. Support me on Twitch, Patreon, and Streamlabs, and I hope to see you here again for the next run of Enter the Gungeon.